Last week, Aaron Glenn spoke to the New York Post saying, I'm not here to talk about the playoffs. I'm not here to talk about the Super Bowl when the players first get in. To me, it's the process of actually making it to that point. The two things I want to make sure we do first and foremost is establish the culture that we've been talking about and try to create a building environment. You like or dislike Glenn's approach?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Because what have we heard for the past 2 seasons with one singular move, one major move, and that's a quarterback? They're going to win the division. They're going to do a deep playoff run. Some people had him in the Super Bowl. All because of a 40-year-old quarterback who is at least 1 year removed from being an MVP, who that season that he got the following season, before he got traded to the New York Jets, he missed the playoffs and lost to the Detroit Lions, who at the time weren't a great team at that point, whose defense, I believe, was 31st in 2022. That was a quarterback, and all of a sudden everyone's like, playoffs, deep playoff run, Super Bowl. Calm it down. Aaron Glenn is tempering expectations instantly, and I absolutely love it because the Jets should have none, not a single one. They have one Super Bowl and it was Super Bowl 3. We're on Super Bowl 60. It's been a little while. So let's all calm it down a little bit. They were very excited about the Aaron Rodgers move. They're even more excited about the Devontae Adams move, and they were hoping it could ignite the Jets to hopefully winning more games. It really didn't. And now, Justin Fields. Breece Hall now is apparently in trade rumors, which is utterly ridiculous. But at this current moment, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Justin Fields, you need to work on the right tackle situation. Okorafor is your starting right tackle. And if anyone knows what happened to him in 2024 with the New England Patriots, you would know he got benched after like the first drive, and he got released instantly. So that's a bit of an issue. So maybe draft that, and we're going to do our mock draft, so you'll see in a second. But I love this. I absolutely love it because Aaron Glenn's coming over from a incredible culture of the Detroit Lions. He's trying to instill that for a team that's been having a losing culture for year after year for decade after decade after decade. So he's trying to fix that, and that's what you want to start. Because as soon as you fix the culture, then you make it an attractive place for players to go. And if you can't, like for instance, New England Patriots right now, their culture sucks because it's in a cold weather environment. They haven't been winning much. You have a young quarterback that's still unproven, and the wide receiver core, the skill position pieces, they've all been terrible. It's not an attractive place. We've seen players like Chris Godwin and DK Metcalf actively not pursue the New England Patriots. Calvin Ridley, I believe, took less to go join the Tennessee Titans. Chris Godwin took about $20 million less to stay on the Buccaneers. So when it comes to the Jets, I absolutely love this because there should be no expectations. You're starting from a position where you just decided to go 4-13, 5-12 with this first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, with a rebuilt offensive line, with 2 legitimate wide receiver weapons, with what used to be the number 1 graded defense by PFF, and you went 5-12. And now you have Justin Fields at quarterback, who may or may not excel. We'll see. Breece Hall at running back. Your offensive line needs a little bit of work. And right now you currently have Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard still. That's not exactly a winning wide receiver core. And your defense should be better. So I absolutely love this. This is the way it should be. No playoffs. You haven't earned it. You haven't earned it whatsoever. You haven't had a winning record in years. So let's all calm it down here. You haven't been back to the playoffs. I think you have the 14-year playoff drought. It's the largest active playoff drought in the 4 major sports in North America. So let's all calm it down. I absolutely love Aaron Glenn's approach to this.
Yeah, well, I don't have any problem with him, focusing on culture and creating a building atmosphere. But why say, I'm not going to talk about playoffs or Super Bowl at all? I mean, why even mention it? I think my first thought is when he says that is he won't last long in New York if he's not thinking about competing for the playoffs. I think that will be the end of him. He says, to me, it's a process, and I've talked to our staff about this. I'm not here to talk about the playoffs. I'm not here to talk about the Super Bowl when the players first get in, as we heard previously here. First and foremost, thing is to establish a culture we've been talking about and try to create a building environment. His experience with the Lions provides the context for how the Jets can get the plane headed in the right direction and after years of sputtering. Culture is about people, he says. I agree with that, of course. As we continue to get the right people in the building, the culture is going to change. Well, will it change for the better? We'll have to see. Players, coaches, and support staff, everybody's involved here. A good culture is helped a lot by winning, I think, and that does the most for culture in any of these NFL teams, because it's all about winning. The Jets have had a winning defense, and Glenn is a defensive coach. The main problems with the Jets is getting the defense back to where it was and back in 2023. I mean, after they fired Saleh, the defense collapsed. It was terrible after that. That was a huge mistake. And the offense finished 24th in points scored, 23rd in total yards gained, 31st in rushing yards per game, 16th in passing, but struggled to convert on the plus side of the field when they got there. Last in the NFL in red zone efficiency, and 20th in success rate, in offensive success rate. The defense finished 24th in the league, which was a surprise, allowing 19.9 points per game and 310.3 yards per game. So Aaron Glenn's a defensive coach. He should be able to fix the defense. They still have a lot of good players on defense. Get them back to where they were in 2023. That will make a huge difference. He's not an offensive coach. And that kind of shows in the, in what they've done in free agency here. They picked up Justin Fields. I like that. I like Justin Fields. I'm surprised the Steelers didn't hang on to him, but it means they're gonna favor the run more, and they have Breece Hall, so I think that makes sense. They have Garrett Wilson as an elite wide receiver, but they got nobody to complement him, and they got to find a wide receiver. Well, who have they gone out and gotten? Tyler Johnson and Josh Reynolds, two very, I would say, not very big names out there in terms of what was available in free agency. And the O-line, you mentioned Okafor. He was released by the Patriots, who had the worst offensive line in the league. And they picked up Josh Myers. I don't even know who he is. On defense, they've focused on defensive backs. Andre Cisco, he's the big one they got. They gave him a $10 million one-year deal. Chris Boyd, Brandon Stevens.
That's a bad pick. I've talked about that before.
I don't know who those guys are. Linebacker Rashid Weaver. That's who they've got. Okay, on their draft picks, they bracket number 7. We're going to go over who they ought to take. They have a second rounder at number 42, third at 73, fourth at 110, fifth at 145, fifth at 162, sixth at 186, sixth at 207. So they got quite a few picks here. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. That's pretty good. They need more offensive line. So maybe with that second round pick, or maybe even with the first one, they should go for an offensive lineman. Wide receiver they need, tight end they need, safety they need, defensive line they need. So they need a lot of pieces. I agree with Aaron Glenn. They're probably, he's not going to talk about the playoffs. I think that's a smart move, but he shouldn't say that we aren't going to compete for the playoffs. They should be trying, because their defense can be credible. Their division, not that tough, really, when you look at it. Besides the Bills, who knows what the Dolphins are going to be? Patriots are still in rebuild. So, you might sneak in there at a wild card. I would not. I think it's a mistake to just come right out and say, I'm all for culture. Forget talking about the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Well, what did Dan Campbell do in his? He wants to bite kneecaps. That's what his introductory press conference is all about. So he wants to bite kneecaps off. That's all about culture. And by the way, Brandon,
it took him quite a while to get his team going there. I mean,
that's what happens when you take over the Detroit Lions, a team that didn't do anything for 30 years. Wow. And by the way, Brandon Stevens, he's a former cornerback on the Baltimore Ravens. He was terrible. I've already talked about this with some of their moves. Brandon Stevens got cooked. Every time you watch a Baltimore Ravens game, and some of the big-time ones, if you saw a receiver wide open, especially off the line in a release, it was probably because Brandon Stevens was in coverage of him. So I don't love that being your wide receiver, too. My guess is you're probably going to get depth at that position as well. But yeah, no, I think right now we talk about running, passing, whatever the case may be. Yeah, Aaron Glenn's not an offensive coach, but Aaron Glenn did bring over the Detroit Lions pass game coordinator. So if we believe in how the Lions have done, and everybody should, the past couple seasons with Jared Goff at quarterback, well, guess what? The pass game coordinator is now on the New York Jets, along with, we both had massive respect for Steve Wilkes and what he did with the Carolina Panthers being their head coach, interim head coach a couple of years ago. So he's their DC. So the defense should be better. I think the pass, because again, passing, it was Nathaniel Hackett. What are you doing with Nathaniel Hackett? It was for Aaron Rodgers, and it didn't work out very well. Then you flip it around with Jeff Ulbrich becoming the head coach and Todd Downing becoming the pass game coordinator, and that seemed to actually work a little bit because Rodgers improved after week 7. So this whole situation is a complete mess. It's the New York Jets, but I absolutely love Aaron Glenn saying, no playoffs yet. We're dealing with the culture first. Because once you have that, then you can start believing. It was the whole thing. It took Dan Campbell 2-3 seasons to finally gain this culture that everybody seems to respect and love now. You're not hearing a lot of hate on the Detroit Lions and what they've built. You respect it. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, maybe you have a little bit of bias, but the entire NFL, it's not like the Kansas City Chiefs or sometimes the Baltimore Ravens or whoever. You respect the Detroit Lions because of what they built from what they were. The Jets, I think, is going to be the same thing. Aaron Glenn trying to build something from basically not much. Because we have to remember, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, you had 5-12. Zach Wilson had back-to-back 7-10 seasons. So that's how bad it was. This Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback could not even match a Zach Wilson team, which had a worse offensive line. Breece Hall got injured. Garrett Wilson was your only wide receiver. You didn't have Devontae Adams. Like, that's how bad the Jets situation turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. They need to improve their offense, and they picked a defensive coach. I still go back to that. I don't wish Aaron Glenn any ill will. I kind of like his fire and his wanting to build a better culture. Ditching Aaron Rodgers, I think, was the right move for them. Starting kind of fresh, a clean slate. He brought in what looked like some pretty good coaches to support him. We'll have to wait and see. I think and they need to get the offense going, and they better. I think they better be focused on the offense in the draft, because in the free agency so far, pretty unremarkable.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.